I don't know why you're laughing. I don't understand. I mean, now I'm laughing because it's infectious, but I can't. I don't know. I don't know
Eddie's
why you're
laugh
laughing.
is so like a baby's laugh, you know? You're not sure what's delighting him, but it just spreads,
It
you
just
know?
really spreads. You see that he's having a good
And the
time.
more fucked up the thing is, the more
harder Eddie
it
laughs.
is. Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing, really.
Yeah.
In 1996, Scholastic began publishing Animorphs. Over the next 6 years, Katherine Applegate and her husband, Michael Grant, under the pseudonym K.A. Applegate, produced 54 main series books, several spin-offs, and inspired a TV series, graphic novels, and a cult following. We can't tell you where we live. We can't even tell you our last names. But we can tell you our thoughts and feelings on this series, book by book. I'm Miranda.
I'm Eddie.
And I'm Chris.
And we are... The Anidorks! These may be kids' books, but we discuss dark themes and mature content. There may also be some explicit language. Listener discretion is advised.
Okay, well, why don't we start with an unlucky number just to get things rolling here? Chapter 13.
I think we could do that.
If you're sure.
All right.
If you're sure.
The gang is trapped in a spiderweb while infiltrating the resort where the world leaders are meeting, and the spider is home. I guess I gotta get that. Flea acts.
I kind of forgot about the spider.
Flea M-Axe reminds Dragonfly.
M-dash.
M-Dash.
I don't think it's an M-dash.
It's an M-Dash?
No, I think it's a hyphen.
A hyphen?
I think it's Flea axe. Axe as a flea.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's a dangerous place. Oh, Flea, no, it's Flea Axe and Dragonfly Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, you gotta be real careful with that stuff. Because it really looks like Flea. Axe reminds Dragonfly Jake. They only have 2 minutes left in this morph. No, I'll tell you, you're wrong. You need to be more careful. All right. Flea Axe reminds Dragonfly Jake that they only have 2 minutes left in this morph, but Jake knows that they can't fully demorph while still inside the resort's air ducts, or they'd be crushed. Nonetheless, Jake begins to demorph, his dragonfly body growing large enough that the spiderweb sags, and it breaks, and they get out of it.
The spider continues to advance towards the gang. David reports that Cassie is injured. Jake reasons that as he demorphed, he developed semi-human arteries, which in turn created a surge of blood pressure that has burst Cassie from the inside out. I'm sorry, it's true.
It's true. It's 100% true.
Unfortunately.
I remember thinking it at the time, but I didn't really stop and appreciate.
You wouldn't think that would happen, but I guess the unexpected nature of it is what...
It would be like if you were drinking a milkshake and it just went whoop, and then suddenly you choked on a bunch of milkshake.
It's like you got all the bobas up your straw at the same time and they shot directly to the back of your throat, you know?
What was the grimace shake? The suggestive shake that was going on? Yeah. It's kind of like that if you think about it.
Jake has grown enough that he is free of the spiderweb, but finds that he is now too large to fly, so he returns to Dragonfly Morph. David panics and, still attached to Jake by his mouth, begins to demorph. Jake takes flight, picking up Cassie's dying flea body in his mouth as he takes off. Popcorn Eddie.
Jake struggles to fly while supporting an increasingly large David, but manages to make it through a vent into the large banquet hall. He tells everyone to demorph as they all release from his body and fall to the floor. Finally, he releases Flea Cassie from his mouth, watching her tumble through the air without moving. Jake alights on a table and begins to demorph himself. Marco screams that he cannot escape his morph. As Jake demorphs, he locates his best friend and sees that rather than returning to his human form, Marco is simply becoming a flea about the size of a dog. Jake listens as Marco sobs for help. That's how the chapter ends.
So I was focused on Semi-Human Artery as a band name, but I think I really missed the opportunity of Increasingly Large David. I think that's actually the band name of this chapter. Is Increasingly Large David. Please welcome to the stage, Increasingly Large David.
On one level, everything in this chapter is set up. for what's going to happen in the next chapter. But why, as I'm reading through it here and we're talking about it, why did K.A. come up with all of this? Why did she create a situation where friends are hanging onto other friends by their mouths? Someone explodes from the inside out. There's just so many tiny, horrible things that happen in this chapter.
This one is gory. It's very messed up. It's
they didn't need the spider.
Fact,
they fucked everything up themselves.
No, the spider wasn't even the problem.
But the biting and latching on thing, like, that becomes kind of like a joke throughout the next few chapters. Like, that happens again. And it's weird then, too, because they're doing it as humans to get into morph easier.
Yeah, so they realized that the flaw in their Flea plan was that they didn't bite Jake before they morphed.
Now, did you say plan or flan?
Flaw in their Flea flan.
we kind of get a human centipede moment here, actually, because
I remember thinking that at the time and being how is this book as fucked up as the human centipede?
It's not as fucked up as the human centipede.
But topologically, it's very different, Ed. You also acknowledge that, right?
Yes.
Because it's like in the human
centipede,
they're run in series so that all resistance adds across them. But in this, they're run in parallel. So they would actually they would be bleeding Jake out at such a rate that he would, if you had 6 fleas biting you as a human, you'd be dead.
I love how you describe the human centipede because I'm really focused on the whole ass to mouth of it all.
That is probably why I didn't think of it. It's the most horrible part to me. So it's what I think of.
The thing is the impedance matching, right? It's like the ass is directly on the mouth, and that means that there's roughly... Right. But you can think of, the thing is you can do the math for the junctures or the points in between the junctures. Like you could just as easily know the resistance of the tract itself. You don't have to focus on the ass and the mouth.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I do, but...
No, I know, and it's sort of like a paradigm thing. It's just like how you do your math, I guess.
Yeah. Euphoria might have done it first and worse. All right, we're just going to leave it at that.
We should
Happy to move on from this topic.
Can we note David weighing down Jake?
I know, like a literal anchor around his neck.
Literal.
Yes, yeah.
No, and him also challenging Jake. He's like, he
says, no, I'm not going to get trapped like this. No. And he freaks out. He's not listening. Jake gives very clear instructions and David throws it all off.
Mm-hmm. I just want to note here, and we'll pick this up later, I don't think that Jake, revisiting this moment, I don't think Jake should be allowed to do David's performance review. Because he's surprisingly complimentary at a moment later. And I don't think David has earned it. I don't. I've completely flipped on David.
Wait a second.
I think that comes from a different... I think that comes from a different place than you think it comes from.
But we're doing this performance review like as if we because we've read the book. So we're talking about doing a performance review right now.
No, David would be doing the performance review. Or Jake would be doing it.
Jake would be getting reviewed.
As the manager.
He would be the reviewee.
Yeah.
And so Jake, as the manager, is too close to it. He should go to someone else.
Certainly.
Yeah. The only other note that I have, very small, speaking of very small, I think it's a really big thing that Marco could be the first ever Flea to graduate from Flea circus to real circus.
Yeah, he's so big, dude.
He's so big.
He's so big. And the idea of a really big Flea is extremely funny and also extremely disturbing.
Yeah. It is, they go on to say that in the next chapter, I think, actually.
Right,
Shall we move on to chapter 14?
Yeah.
Chapter 14. I'll start this one. Even our fearless leader, Jake, can't even bring himself to look at his best friend. Is this how it ends for two of the people Jake cares about most? Marco trapped in an oversized Flea and Cassie? What did happen to Cassie? Cassie, it turns out, is fine. She's human again, having made a full recovery, and springs into action to save Marco. She places both of her hands on the giant flea Marco and tells him to think about being a flea. Ignoring how... No, she doesn't do that. She ignores how his bristles sting her skin and begins to coach him.
Come on, Marco, Cassie said calmly. Clear your mind of all the fear. You can do this. You will morph. Focus on the picture of yourself. Form the picture in your mind. Let go of the fear and focus on the picture of your own body. All of the
Cassie's
others have
lifeguard.
successfully demorphed and watch as Cassie slowly guides Marco back to his human form. When he returns, he hugs Cassie and breaks down crying on her shoulder, thanking her for saving his life. Jake and the other Animorphs are in awe of Cassie.
Marco finally redirects the gang's attention to the mission at hand. They found themselves in the corner of an enormous banquet hall with rows of long tables prepared for a fancy dinner. In each corner of the room, there is an ornamental marble pillar, except for the corner in which Jake and the others are standing. Instead, they find themselves standing by a small, portable Yeerk pool. Are the Yeerks really going to have a dinner party with a Yeerk pool in plain sight? Or could it be that, from a few feet away, this Yeerk pool looks to the rest of the room like just another marble obelisk? Axe puts it together. The Animorphs are standing inside of a hologram.
Quick note: it's what is an it's a
An
column.
obelisk? Yeah, it's like the
an
Washington
obelisk-
Monument.
Yeah,
Or no,
but this isn't-
it's
a
a rectangular solid.
okay, and okay.
It generally tapers to a point at the top, but
That's what I was thinking. Yeah,
I don't know if that's required.
I don't think they're load bearing. Yeah, they have a pyramidal. They have a pyramidal tip, so it's
So
a
they
column, not
could-
an obelisk.
Well, they do say that it's attached, I think. So, like, if it doesn't go to the top, it's not technically an obelisk. But I think that was more poetic license than
Yeah, no, it was
anything else.
beautiful. It was beautiful.
I actually thought that it said obelisk, but maybe I'm wrong.
I think it may.
It might.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but I swear there was a decorative column.
Yeah, no, I just saw column, so it might have just... Or pillar. Pillar is actually what it says.
Pillar definitely comes up.
Maybe I just think marble...
on Chris's pedantic
and then I think
corner.
obelisk, yeah. Oh, we have a new segment! Wow!
We have a new
Yeah.
segment called Chris's Nitpick.
So glad to see the return of morphing midwife Cassie. We got this thread not that long ago, and we're getting it. I mean, even Axe is amazed by what she did. Loving the fear is the mind killer kind of vibe
Yes,
that she's
I
giving
have
here.
that. Yep. Yeah.
You have that too?
I have that also, yeah.
This part fully made me cry when I read it.
This part's powerful.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite things in the series to date, period.
Mm-hmm.
It might be my favorite moment. Because it's just so intense.
Which is why we
is.
opened by talking about obelisk versus column.
I wanted to soften it for our listeners.
yeah.
You know, it's
Hey, if you
interesting.
had picked a better word,
Yeah.
we wouldn't be...
You know,
I'm just kidding.
but
I couldn't
it's-
see it through my
it-
tears.
It did evoke, like, I was remembering the wolves in book 3
Yeah.
and Tobias standing helpless watching, and now we had everyone standing helpless watching Cassie help one person morph, and it somehow the tension felt it. I guess because I never thought that they were going to trap Marco in this flea morph in this moment, but in the third book of the series, for them all to get stuck in wolf morph definitely seemed impossible. So, like, the stakes seemed more real here, or that it could at least just go wrong for them. They could get caught. They could get something. When they were just trying to demorph as wolves in the woods, it was like a lot less high
Well,
stakes.
like, imagine if he had gotten stuck as a big flea and they had to, like, cram him under a coat and, like, get him out of there. And, like,
He's
that
a
would've
big
been such
flea.
good-
He's got a couple
He's
coats.
not fitting under no doorman's hat, let me tell you that.
Exactly. No, he'd be wearing the little hat. Which
Yeah.
is kind of cute.
The
pretty cute.
whiplash of how horrifying it seems to be when Jake can't even look at Marco. His friend's like, hey, need a little help over here. And Jake's like, I can't look at you. You're so ugly. You're just so scary. And then Cassie, who just almost died and immediately morphs back quickly, I think. I think she's the first to
very
finish
quickly.
morphing. And then immediately has the presence of mind to go from, I just almost died, I'm going to help my friend get out of this
Yeah.
morph. It's
She's
like an
really incredible
moment.
here.
And I don't know how anyone's ever complaining about Cassie because she is just a rock star in this book. Like, she's doing everything.
She really is.
She's
So cool.
Yeah.
Repeatedly, I definitely have a note that is just Cassie is so cool. And I know I said it earlier about, oh, you must not have morphed the dragonfly's visual cortex yet. And I was like, God, Cassie's so cool.
So cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a little cool, this book. She's pretty cool.
So Eric, that she had another job in this book, not just to deliver us the information, but to prime us for holograms.
That's right. Chekhov's hologram. That's right.
He brought
Eric K.
holograms back to the
This
back
is
to the
his
mind.
ride at Disney.
Does it have
You're
a
in a
giant
hologram,
flea?
in a hologram, in a
Imagine
hologram.
if there was a Scholastic theme park. That would be so.
Oh my god!
be-
You just might die
God.
in the Warrior Cats one.
It'd be like
Captain
Clifford
Underpants.
Pick your
or some
tribe.
shit. Clifford Scholastic. Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Remember Captain Underpants? That was Scholastic, right?
Oh, I do remember Captain Underpants. I did not like it, but that's
Yeah.
I just never liked.
Yeah.
They were
like the
actually
art
pretty
style.
good. The art style was weird. I
Yeah.
remember finally getting to them. It was like, oh, this is funny as hell.
Yeah.
So I wanna entertain for a little bit Marco, the timeline where Marco gets stuck in the giant flea morph. Would Jake have a Tobias, you're always the drawer is always open equivalent for his giant flea friend? Would he put him in the basement?
I mean, not based on
The
his
drawer is always
reaction.
open is amazingly funny, and I just want to
Yeah.
point that out. I just want to call attention to that incredible pun that you just did.
Yes, but I
anyway,
will.
continue.
I based on his reaction here, I'd say no. I don't think that he can stomach looking at him.
Yeah.
I mean,
would he grow?
Look, what we're having is the uncomfortable "would you love me if I was a worm"
Still a worm,
conversation.
yeah.
And I think the reality is Jake would find a way. The thing that's probably more true is he would live for like a matter of minutes.
Ooh,
as a
yeah,
flea.
fleas don't live
I
very
think-
long. That's true.
I don't think it would be a problem for long. Flea lifespan. Let's look it up.
Oh my god! And imagine the giant eggs he'd be laying if he's a girl flea.
Oh, they live for 2 to 3 months apparently, but
That's still not very
it would
long,
Be
but
fast. It would be
That's the lifetime of a
Give you
normal
time
pet.
to say goodbye.
So that's a lifetime of one of your pets.
Oh,
Well, I play
Anywho.
Pet Survivor with my pet.
oh man.
Well, it's more like pet Hunger Games. but-
Oh,
The crossbows.
like if you didn't learn that lilies are toxic in pre-Hunger Games school, I don't know what to tell you, Fido. Like that's on you.
I was imagining, okay, if we all got stuck in a morph, is there a case for being stuck in a giant flea morph because it's a novelty is actually better than being stuck in pony morph or something? But I don't think there is.
No, I think they'd kill
Absolutely
you.
not.
I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of
I
benefit.
think the second a red-blooded American with a gun saw you, you'd be gone, dude.
Well, that's how most Americans try and solve their flea infestations.
It's
It's
true,
just by
although-
shooting where they think the fleas are.
Fleas are very hard to crush and hard to kill. I wonder
Oh, yeah.
if scaled up, if your bullets would do anything.
You'd have to shoot them with elephant guns.
Oh,
Yeah. Poor Marco. Marco is so scared when he's stuck in it. I just
He is, and I
felt
feel like
so
it gets
bad.
kind of glossed over. And I feel like it happens to Marco a lot that he almost dies.
Yeah, is he
Yeah, they use
opposite
him in
of?
that role a lot.
Is it what is Cassie's andalite? The andalite word for what a serene?
Oh, the
A stream.
estrine.
Is Marco the opposite
There's
of an
an
estrine?
opposite.
Which just means he has an anxiety disorder.
It's just a bad morpher.
I don't
know.
think we have evidence of him being bad at morphing.
No.
It's
No.
just
He just gets anxious and can't focus.
Yeah, it's an anxiety disorder. There's, it's like it's
Yeah.
perforance anxiety of
Yeah.
a kind,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
It happens to everyone.
I'm sorry, I'm in performance review mode, Chris, because I'm thinking about David.
You really are.
Shall we review the performance of chapter 15?
Yes,
I
let's
would
do
love
it.
that. Thank you, please.
All right, I'll start. The Animorphs try to make sense of what the fuck kind of batshit plan Visser 3 has come up with for this book. To anyone eating in this impending banquet, this room would appear to have a marble non-obelisk in each of the room's four corners.
Yes.
But the Yeerks have actually removed one of the marble non-obelisks, concealing a small Yeerk pool inside of a hologram of a non-obelisk. David asks a good question. What if anyone came along and tried to lean on the non-obelisk?
Axe points out that there's.
I saw Eddie trying to get rid of him as I was reading it. I was like, nope.
Oh my god, I can't speak. Axe points out that there's actually a skylight above them inside of the hologram because the Yeerks burned through the ceiling. The Yeerks just haven't created the hologram of a column here, but are actually strengthening the hologram.
I'm confused. What are you referring to?
A non-obelisk.
A column's a non-obelisk type of shape. Yeah.
Okay. As long as we have that continuity for the listener, please continue.
But are actually strengthening the hologram with a force field. In fact, Axe says, if any of us stepped out of this hologram, we would not be able to re-enter. The non-obelisk would actually appear to us as a wall. I feel like I'm atoning for a sin right now. Unless, of course, you press a secret button inside the hologram, which opens up a small arch in the force field through which a person could slip unnoticed. Popcorn quicks.
3 people enter the banquet hall. Only Jake is outside of the hologram at this moment, so he dives underneath one of the tables, concealed by a tablecloth. Unfortunately, that very table is the one at which these 3 people sit, and Jake can't help himself from tickling their toesies. Jake eavesdrops on their conversation, noticing that one of the people, a man named Tony, is the slash-edge shoe-ed man.
The hash-slinging shaft flasher.
The slash-edge shod man. Tony is the White House chief of protocol, and he is insisting that the president slash his shoes. And his men, he is insisting that the president and his men enter the stage from behind the hologram non-obelisk / column. Popcorn Moran.
Eventually, Tony and the other 2 people leave. Jake re-enters the hologram, rejoining his friends. Axe suggests that they leave by exiting through the hole in the ceiling, the one through which the Yeerks are projecting the force field. Jake agrees, but there's one thing they have to decide. Are the Animorphs going to kill the Yeerks in this portable force field? They decide to leave the Yeerks alive, as killing them would give away their knowledge of the plan. Plus, killing defenseless beings feels wrong, even if those are Yeerks. Sure didn't feel wrong when you boiled that spa therapy hot tub, did it, Jake? Back in book 6.
Well, that was, like the spa massacre of book 6 was an atrocity in its own right, but I mean, let's just talk about the scale here. I mean,
we don't know how many Yeerks are here, and I do think they are right. It would give away their plan.
Well, and they get plot justified out the wazoo in frickin' like 20 seconds, which pissed me off to high heaven. I was like, come off it.
Speaking of plot justifications, I feel like K.A. had to work backwards to get to the whole hologram force field business that we have here. I think she was solving a problem, but it is so complicated, everything that's going on.
It really is. It's like if you needed to get something from a high shelf and you were like, well, I have a stack of books, a step stool, and a ladder.
How can I use these together?
Yeah.
And instead, I'm going to reach up. I'm going to put my I'm going to put my hands under my dog's little arms, and I'm going to hold him up as high as I can and say, grab the sugar. Grab the sugar.
But I'm going to have to lob peanut butter up onto the sugar with a spoon from a ways away so that the dog knows which one to bite.
Do you think in one of the earlier drafts, they just had the hologram, and one of them, Michael or K.A., thought like, oh, well, we'll just say it's like a hologram that you can't pass through. They're like, that doesn't make any sense. That's not what a hologram is. Well, then it's a force field.
No. But the force fields are canon.
The force fields are canon, but what is wild is that they decided they needed to say that these Yeerks are using a holographic emitter that's being run on a relay, which I just want to say, I did run the anchor leg for my holographic emitter relay team in high school.
That's incredible. Did you guys come in first?
I don't know. I was always last. Because I was the anchor, see? No. It does feel like, but like the fact that they had to they're like, oh, it's a hologram with a force field, but also they're not making it from here. They're making it from somewhere else. And they used a Dracon beam to bore a hole through the center of a non-load bearing non-obelisk.
Yes.
Just to put this Yeerk pool here.
Well, and also it's through the hole of the frickin' hotel.
And there's just a hole in the ceilings.
There's a hole in the goddamn
Over the
hotel.
and nobody knows. No wonder
Rain
bats are falling in the
just
table.
getting in. Like, people are phoning and being like, hey, I have a lot of rain coming in
Just
through
a
the
puddle
wall.
in the middle at the base of this column. We don't know where the column is leaking.
Why are the Yeerks treating their own people like shit? Because birds are shitting on those Yeerks in the Yeerk pool, and I just don't understand.
Oh, you know they kind of like
Can
it.
they put a
They
lid
did
on
say,
it?
I mean, you have a point. Well,
If
they'll
you
say
love it, then you should
later.
have put a lid on it.
They'll say later that it is harder to get into the force field column higher
The
up.
higher, or it's easier.
It's
the
easier.
higher
I'm
up.
sorry, it's easier.
Yeah.
So birds would be the only thing getting in it, I guess. And
Yeah.
so they would
So-
just be. I also just love that they're like, but if they put these in this hologram and it's solid, how'd they get in? There is a door. Like the answer is like, oh, you have to press a special button to open it. It's a door. Like it's just
It's
a door.
it's a little tin foil like.
It's
hole in the
even
hologram.
arch shaped. Yeah, it's like it's even
Yeah.
arch. It's a door.
It'd be so good for a murder
I
mystery.
have to. I agree. We should get one of those. But I think I do have to say, like, this is Chekhov's. Like, so if Eric is Chekhov's force field, this is like enter the force field hologram.
Oh,
and
yeah.
From here, it's like this is the first hat we'll be putting on, and soon it's just going to be hats on hats on hats.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't
Oh,
want to.
yeah.
I don't want to spoil anything. Let's just.
I want to jump to a little bit of Visser 3 being a great gaslighter here, where they're like,
and
Tony.
can we talk about Sheila too? Can you?
Oh,
like,
we can, yeah. But
Yeah.
like, Tony, that's not what you said this morning. And he's like, you must have misunderstood me. You know, like it's
Gaslight girl boss,
champion
baby.
gaslight.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
it's so good. This is his element. This is where he needs to be.
Sheila needs to get a new job. Like, if Sheila's competent enough to not have been fired in this hellscape of a job, like, I don't understand why she's working for Tony. Like, she should be Tony.
I don't think she's
I'm
working
not
for
sure-
Tony. She's working for the resort, right?
That's what I was going to say. I wasn't sure where she was in this because he's like, I'm the White House chief of protocol. This is my show. Who sits where's my business? Your business is to make it happen, which could mean that she's like directly in his staff, but it could also mean that she works for the resort and her job is
It
to do whatever.
can't be.
It's a little
It can't be,
complicated.
because they wouldn't delegate that to resort staff. That would be like somebody. Wouldn't that be somebody internal? Like, you think for a
I would
second that
think.
security detail would
Well,
be
she says they.
outsourced to that?
Well, so she says that like we can change it to be the way you want, but the the Secret Service have to know everything, so we won't have time to change it again if you change your mind before it actually goes off, because the Secret Service has to vet everything, which would indicate that she's not Secret Service, but that doesn't mean
that
she's
doesn't
not
mean she isn't,
government.
like,
It's true, though.
I don't know.
Also, shouldn't other world leaders have someone at the table here with them? Are they just trusting the president's person to deal with?
Yeah, they're
everything?
like, he brought his guys. We're good.
Yeah.
Well, he's on home turf. Yeah,
That's true.
No, I mean the whole thing.
Oh,
of
with
this
the
is
Secret
kinda
Service?
nuts,
Yeah,
because there
I
would
guess
be
they-
competing Secret Services.
Yeah.
yeah, and they probably all get a look, but
Secret Service.
There was one more
Secret
thing.
Cervixes is the joke I was
Presidential
gonna make.
seal says ARF.
Arr.
They should just kill the Yeerks, right? I know that it gets
Right.
plot justified.
Easy answer.
But if we're slipping on certain Animorphs rules, which we will this book involving morphing,
But
Yeah,
those
no, you're not wrong.
Those Yeerks cannot be said to be innocent. We think those are the Yeerks that are going into the ears of high up
yeah.
They're
people. Like,
controllers. They're definitely
they're
controllers.
They're militant.
However,
Yeerks.
I think I know what Eddie's getting at, because we're not so much bending the rules about Yeerks as we are bending the rules about controllers.
We're bending
we'll
the rules
get there.
about everything. We're biting
are.
friends in this book.
That's true.
Yeah.
Let's fly.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
Chapter 16.
take it away.
The gang is prepared to exit as seagulls through the hole in the ceiling, but they're worried that they'll draw a bunch of attention to themselves. Won't it appear to the dozen or so security guards observing the building as if a bunch of seagulls just flew out of the roof? They decide that they need a distraction. I think they should have just flown through the hole. I'm just saying it right now.
It probably would have been
Popcorn Quicks.
David offers to pull the fire alarm. He's done it before. He's practically horny to do it.
fine. No.
All he needs to do is exit the hologram, pull the fire alarm on the wall, of the banquet hall and then run back. But of course, our new favorite shit show trips over the chair after pulling the alarm. Jake orders everyone else to morph into seagulls and leave while he goes to save David. Before he departs the hologram, he instructs Axe to close the force field behind him. He and David will find another way out, Popcorn and Burb.
Jake crawls under one of the banquet hall tables. He can see David at a distance, though David is no longer human. He's in the middle of morphing into a male lion, the battle morph that Cassie had helped him acquire. And when Jake mouths the word no, as in, let's escape, not fight, David just grins with the ferocious teeth of a lion. As Jake continues to crawl toward David, he listens to controllers searching the room for Andalite bandits. But when they discover that their little Yeerk buddies in the portable Yeerk pool are still alive, they figure this was a false alarm. No way Andalites would leave those little wiggly boys to cavort in this hot tub. Popcorn Eddie.
Jake is face to face with Lion David at this point, hoping that David has control of his new morph. Luckily, he does, though David admits that he expected Jake to enter his tiger morph just in case. Speaking of which, as David and Jake flee the scene, David asks Jake a weird question. Who does he think would win in a fight between a lion and a tiger? Jake thinks about it as they rejoin the others, suddenly very concerned about his answer.
So, one little thing, two things that just hit me. One is, we got to pay tribute to the hole in the ceiling, and that is a callback to the Yeerk pool in book 1. Just want to make sure we land that note. The other thing is this thing about them not getting caught doesn't feel real to me because Visser 3 sets a trap for them. So, it's kind of like there's a continuity issue there with I
think one of two things. Either Visser 3 realized after the fact when they reported back, or what I more strongly suspect, this plan was already in motion.
The trap plan?
Yeah.
So why the fuck would that work, though? Why would they...
Do Tony and Sheila ever specifically say that they're talking about tomorrow? Or about tonight? Or do they say they're talking about tomorrow? They assume that it's happening on a certain day. But what do they assume it based on?
Why expend the resources on a trap if you have no... because the Sheila has nothing to do with what we're going to encounter later in the book.
No, I'm just saying, do they say that it's happening tomorrow? They don't. I don't know where they came up with this idea that it must be happening when they think it's happening.
I kind of agree with you, but let's
I think they say they got it through Eric. I think that's where it comes up.
I think he was already planning to trap them. And I think his plan was, there's no way the Andalite bandits aren't going to look into this. All we have to do is give them what looks like the perfect opportunity to stop us, and then they'll definitely show up.
It is such kid logic, by the way, that the adults wouldn't think to look under the tablecloth. That is exactly how kids' brains work. And
I mean, why would you look is a good question if you don't. But at one point, they're they almost trip over David's tail.
Well,
and I'm that's
and
just...
they knew something was there because Jake was tickling their little toesies.
Yeah.
Right.
But
they just thought somebody, they're going to file a sexual harassment claim later. They thought someone was playing footsie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Do you think that the controllers walking around the room are if Jake and David could look out from under the tablecloth, they would see the controllers pointing at the tablecloth, mouthing shh to each other because
maybe
they know there's two. They think there's two Andalites under that table. Andalites couldn't fit under the table though, right? No way.
No, but they could have morphed something smaller,
like a lion.
They could have morphed a smaller table.
Yeah.
So
what the hell is David thinking? This is so...
When David morphs the lion, there's a moment where, Jake tries to take control of the situation, and he runs up and he grabs him by the nape of his neck.
Yeah.
And that is, first of all, so cat-coded.
Yeah.
And also so fucking nuts. Imagine...
He says, he's I might just lose my arm doing this.
Yeah.
He hasn't morphed lion before that I know of. Except, is that true? Did we see evidence of a lion morph on his way to the Motel 6 or whatever?
No.
You know what?
You're right.
There was,
Yes.
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
Why did Cassie
There's
let him get a
something-
lion?
It was because he like argued for agency. It was because they were like, "You're stifling me."
Yeah.
Something like
And
is
he
my
probably just
expression.
said, take him to the zoo and get him a battle morph.
Yeah.
But this is so good and it's so tense, like them both just sitting there pretending that everything was fine the whole time, and that like David's like, I was never gonna do anything, and Jake's like, I always believed that. I was just trying to back you up, buddy, you know? Like I knew you were cool. I just wanted to make sure the instincts didn't take over, you know? Like,
well, and then he drops this threat, which is symmetrical to Jake's threat, right? So we've now threatened each other. We're at equal. We're at like, I've threatened you, you've threatened me. Maybe this is nothing. Maybe this is tension. Here we go. I'm like really angry that the notes you wrote here, Miranda, say Andalite penetration.
I'm sorry.
I just can't.
So
people expect us to have a certain amount of decorum in our no.
It's just,
It's in my Google search.
How do you defend yourself?
When the controllers come in and they bar the doors so they can see if everything's okay, one of them says, okay, if we have Andalite penetration, they could be anything, even flies. And
it's true.
The phrase didn't make it into the summary, and so I just needed...
That's because Eddie got distracted Googling it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I used the phrase on paper.
Safe search off.
There's a silly moment in here. I thought, so this was just like my first reading of it. They fixed the Flea dragonfly morph problem by having David bite Jake as a human as they both morph to dragonfly and Flea, respectively. And I didn't remember that bite me was something you could say to like be rude to someone.
Yeah, dude, bite me.
I thought he was like, oh, he's gonna
It's
think
still
I was
rude.
like, it is, but I thought he was like gonna think he's like, oh, I don't want him thinking I want him to give me a hickey. I was like, this is such a weird thing to say. And then on my second, like as I was going back through, I was like, oh, bite me is something you say to people. He's like, don't take this the wrong way, but bite me. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
dude,
not no homo,
if you
but
wanted
bite me.
to get
yeah.
if you wanted to get someone mad, I think you could say bite me.
Yeah,
like,
no,
I
you
think
totally
if you
could,
were
'cause
like
he's like-
mad, you could, like our generation, like Eddie. If we were having a really good fight, like come on, that
He's
would
like,
get
you know
under
what?
your
Bite
skin.
me.
Bite
Like,
me.
you know, because he
Bite
says,
me, you
what do
piece of
we
shit.
do now? And he's like, don't take this the wrong way, but bite me. Like,
No, I wasn't saying that. I was saying bite me, you piece of shit. Hypothetically, there.
right. Yeah,
Eddie, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I know that came off really aggressive. Let's read chapter 7 tweet. Tweet.
7 tween.
Okay, quicks, read 7 tween.
Oh shit, it's me. We now knew the Yeerk's plan, Jake narrates. They would wait for the big banquet. The heads of state would walk up to the platform one by one to give speeches. One by one, they would pass behind the holographic pillar. There, out of sight of the audience, they would be hauled inside the pillar, and they would be grabbed and held, and their heads, of course, forced into the Yeerk pool, and a Yeerk's like would palps out, reach into their ears, and minutes later, they'd be controllers. Yay! Meanwhile, the holographic emitter we just seen would project an image of the head of state continuing his walk up to the podium. He would seem to reappear on the far side of the pillar, walk up, and calmly deliver his speech. By the time the speech was over, the real head of state would be ready to emerge. The switch would then be done in reverse. So then they would take the hologram and put the controlled head of state out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Miranda, take it away.
Jake explains that this is why Visser 3 needed to acquire Tony, the slash-shoot man. He needed to be able to direct how the speeches would be made at the banquet. The real Tony is probably still alive and would wake up unaware of what had happened to him. Tobias asks why the Yeerks wouldn't just infest Tony. Why have Visser 3 acquire him? Axe, David, and Marcos supply their own theories, but Cassie suggests that there's a much simpler explanation that the boys are overlooking. Eddie?
Ego, Cassie said. You have to look at who we're talking about here. It's Visser 3. It's his biggest scheme ever. If it works, the battle for Earth is won. He'll be the big hero of the whole Yeerk empire, and if it fails, he'll look like a fool. So what's he going to do? Stay aboard the blade ship and watch? Not Visser 3. He wants to be there. He wants to be able to say, look, I did it all. Me, me, me. Jake admits that he hadn't thought of this, to which Cassie says, typical males. All you think about is plot. You always forget it's about personality. It's about character. Visser 3 has to be there, see? He's an egomaniac. Popcorn Quicks.
Jake says that they only have a few hours before this banquet. Again, fabricates that under. You guys, the banquet's about to happen. They need to come up with a plan. Rachel says that she will have to go home for a few hours before the mission and asks if Jake needs to do the same, but Jake explains that he doesn't because of the Cousin Sadler situation. Sadler is such a funny name, by the way.
It really is.
Like, it's a sad situation. The Sadler family. Rachel hasn't heard about Sadler, so Jake explains. The gang listens and then responds with all sorts of appropriate noises of sympathy, all except David. Jake narrates. But while his mouth was making all the right words, I saw something disturbing in his eyes. Something I couldn't quite put my finger on. I glanced at him, David, of course, and he looked at me with a face that seemed to be shining with restrained excitement. Is the noise he'd make. David, of course, like someone who had just figured out how to win the lottery. And I heard an echo of Cassie's words in my mind. It's always about character.
Noises of Sympathy, also a good name.
It
Noises of
is. It is.
Sympathy is good.
Axe does give a good actual reason why yerking the heads of state before now would have been more difficult because, I'm sorry, not the heads of state. Yerking low-level officials would have been a problem for getting them to the Kandrona. Mm-hmm. But if you yerk the head honcho, they can just order a Kandrona built or a Yeerk pool built, and nobody is allowed to question why in the mind of these books. So if you're the president, you can have whatever you want built. You can have a portable Kandrona installed if you want, and no one is allowed to ask if it's because you're an alien.
The idea of giving the White House tour and being like, and this is our portable Kandrona array right in the Oval Office so that the president can... The thing that's really tripping me up about this thing is we've named Visser 3's morph Tony, and that's the name of our producer. I don't know if you guys know this, but during our recording sessions, there's actually someone in the booth who's fact checking for us and checking the real time stats of who's listening.
Yeah,
impressive.
Letting us know if the metrics are going up or down. No, you have them in your ear too, Miranda. Just Tony's saying hi to you right now.
Your Yeerk, Chris? Is that what your Yeerk?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
I'm just hearing the screams of the damned. That's all I'm getting.
So it's my Yeerk this whole time. I thought we had a producer named Tony who told me when to do my reading, what to think about the books, and how to in general be more pro Yeerk.
Yeah, that's
incredible.
That's why we never hear
Tony
when we listen to the episode. We just hear dead air.
I thought you guys were hearing him this whole time because he says stuff like, "Don't worry, I told Eddie to say that."
Otherwise known as Tonash, I think is what you said his full name is, right?
Tonash?
Tonash? I don't know. I'm just thinking of a Yeerk name.
I like it. That's
Tonash, Tonash.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I got hung up on it, I think, because I was just thinking of it just sounded like gross toes.
It's a gross name.
Yeah.
Do we think
it's ooh, you got that stanky knit toe nash down there.
Did Visser 3 have to pitch this whole mission? Does Visser 3 have to meet with Visser 1 or Visser 2 or the Council of 13 and explain there's 4 pillars in this room and we're gonna burn one of them, we're gonna incinerate one of them and we're gonna leave a hole in the ceiling through which we'll run the projection and the force field, and does he have to explain this to someone?
I doubt it.
I don't think so. I think I kind of think, I think he's been allowed to run away with this sector. Because, the fact that Visser 1 even... Because you remember in Marco's book where Visser 1 came in for the first time, but we had to go far afield to get to Visser 1. Visser 1's doing operations on Lyra. Lyra or whatever.
Yeah, they did an operation on Earth to prep for an operation on Lyra. Yeah.
The fact that we, the Yeerks, are going to, the Yeerks are going to abduct the world leaders, pull them into the pillar. And then there's this whole other step of the plan that has to happen concurrently where we're projecting a believable speech onto the podium. It just seems like a lot. It seems like a lot.
Well, I think there's a bit of thing happening here where the pillar is very large, and so their plan is for them to be able to yeerk them in the seconds it would take them to cross behind the pillar. And so they play a projection and then they let them out. It's very confusing.
But it sounds like they're going to play the projection while they're giving their 10-minute speech.
Yes.
They seem to think it'll take 10 minutes.
Oh, and then they let them back out as they leave. Okay, that makes
another
sense.
Like what you said.
Yeah.
But how are they getting their speeches? Sorry.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, nowadays they'd probably run it through ChatGPT, but I have no idea. Is it a recording of something? Like, I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't know. I mean, the whole thing is completely insane. Like I'm okay with it so far, but it is completely nuts and very hard to keep track of and very hard to make work.
You would think it would be hard to maintain and I understand they put a lot of thought into it. They've reinforced the hologram. You would think it'd be a lot of work to maintain that you've destroyed a pillar in a room and are now going to have a fake pillar in its place in which you're hiding a cauldron containing aliens. Like,
yeah, it's a good point. Where did the pillar go?
Well, it turns out
they incinerated it.
They just cored it out. They just cored it out. So the outside of the pillar. Wait, no, the outside of the pillar isn't real.
It says they burned it. It says they burned it down.
They burned it. Yeah,
burn marble.
But they have
Dragon beam.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Dragon beam.
All of this is to say, how angry with Naomi are Sadler's parents that they did not even call her to let his three cousins know that he is in critical condition.
Well, and the thing that they're not saying on the page is that Sadler's huge in Rachel's family. They love Sadler there,
and
they're
so
very close
to think that they're not even, I mean, something must have really come between them during the divorce. I just don't get it. I don't understand.
Yeah. And we're Team Naomi in this.
I'm always Team Naomi.
Yeah.
I'm always Team... Dude, Hurricane Dan or whatever his stupid name is, get him out of here.
Yeah.
Get him... Yeah.
He's not around a lot, but when
right?
he's present, he's great. He's great. He's just
yeah.
Cassie drops the typical males in this one.
She does. She does.
I know we're running out of time for the episode, but I have a really quick question. Just like a really, really, really quick question. I don't want to get into the specifics of it, but how does Visser 3 not get backstabbed while he's getting Kendrona? Like, how does that work?
That's a good point. I mean, if the Council of 13 are so suspicious that they won't even tell anyone their fucking identities, like
who the Emperor is.
Although we've had this picture painted to us that Yeerks are extremely ambitious and trying to climb, and then the only one we've really seen do that is like Visser 3. So I don't know if we're just getting the Andalite propaganda mixed with Visser 3 is a very strong, ladder climber.
What do you think that looks like? Like, at the end of the day of being evil, and he's like, okay, I need Kendrona rays. I'm getting a headache. I have to, incapacitate Alaran.
Yeah.
What does he do?
Who's he
so that nobody can take the body.
Moments? Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Does
he have a private Yeerk pool, you think?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
But somebody has to guard it. Somebody must know. Someone could get him at any time.
I don't think it would feel the same to have a private Yeerk pool. I think part of the experience of the nostalgia for the Yeerk pool is cavorting with the others.
Yeah.
It's cavorting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
That's sloppy fun.
Thanks for listening to Anidorks. We'll be back soon with lots more to say. Until the Andalites return, or at least until next time. See you soon!